Hi, this is Generate Sheep here. This time I finally get to play my Caitlyn, which I love. I love playing Caitlyn. So we're gonna enjoy ourselves in this kill lane versus kill lane matchup. My support is Spike, and their support is Thresh with an AD carry Jhin. So both lanes have very strong lane potential. If one of the supports lands a hook, it's basically over for the other lane. But we have some good things going our way to start with. First off, Jhin, I think, maybe intentionally, but he took little tempo over, I think, the more used fleet footwork, which means that he's giving up some of his sustain. Me, still running sustain on Caitlyn means I have a sustain advantage over Jhin. At the same time, Pyke's passive gives him more sustain over Thresh. So this is something that we can still use to our advantage. And another thing that we have is that Caitlyn has a little bit more range than Jhin, aside from his W and his Q, which means we can abuse these two things and still gain a lane advantage, even though we're playing in the same type of lane. So what is our game plan going to be? Well, we're going to start out the same way as in the Blitzcrank lane. We're going to manage a position that makes getting hooked very difficult. We're going to be freezing, we're going to be fighting on stacked waves, we're going to be warding and fighting for bush control. And all of these things will also be very good for Pyke. So that doubles. So this is something that we really need to do. Now, when Thresh, of course, misses his hook, we have to punish that relentlessly. We have to sit on Jin's face. Finally, Pyke can aggro as much as he wants, and we really have to abuse that. We have to be aware of the situations when they rise up. Now, the last thing we want to do, since we now have a sustain advantage compared to Jhin, we want to be using that to win our shorter fights so that we get a HP advantage. And once this lane advantage is secured, maybe we won on a lane, maybe we have a HP advantage, we can start freezing them out again. And if they ever try to do something against a kill lane that's freezing, we can just kill them on sight. We don't fuck around here. We're a kill lane versus kill lane, and we're gonna mess them up if they actually try to challenge us on that. So without further ado, let's go to the game and see how that went. So now that we can move on to the game, we can look and we can see if we followed this game plan as well as we knew. Now, the first thing, of course, is going to be rather straightforward. I'm level 1 with 2 all-in lanes. It's basically just going to depend on whoever gets the most autos in, and that's what I try to do. Is just I have the sustain advantage, so it's great if I get to weave in some autos, especially with my extra range, and even if they trade back, it's good for me. To just establish a little bit of an advantage, because if when an all-in occurs, and it will occur in a double kill lane, every HP is gonna matter. So aside from that, what happens is we get level 2, they don't respect it, and it ends up with Jhin getting clipped. He had all time in the world to flash there, but he didn't. Maybe he didn't think he would escape anymore. Maybe he's not an AD carry main, I don't remember anymore. But now there's the first mistake. So if our goal is to keep the wave frozen or to our side as much as possible once we have lane control, then this is bad, because we're pushing this out too slowly, because we started out doing nothing for a while instead of straight up outdoing the wave. And the best thing that we can do is just get it into tower as fast as possible, so it bounces faster to us and we can start thinking about freezing again. So there, we need to be a little bit faster, and the price that we pay for that is some HP on Pyke and my heal, which is fine, but it's not great either. I don't remember why I started playing safe now. Maybe we spot Listen, but I do know that later on I think the pings are gonna come in. That Listen is in fact there, and we should watch out. Yeah, there we get it. So now they tell us to watch out, so we're just chilling and waiting for the wave. If you look at it, we're not losing that much. I mean, the wave bouncing back, I think I lost 1 CS. So once that's there, we can just go back to chilling. And about our plan is to fight from this secure position. So we're going to be waiting for the wave. Once Thresh misses hook, we are safe to do what we want. It would be great if we had control over that bush. Actually, if Pyke would have controlled that bush, that would be nice, but with a bigger wave on their side, it's almost impossible. The price we pay for... actually, it's not a price, but for some reason they just managed to get it into tower, and we have to deal with it. We still can last hit them. We can last hit most of it, I think, on their tower, so there's no problem. But here actually is going to be a mistake that occurs. So first off, Thresh misses his hook, which means I immediately go to Jhin, as you can see. I immediately go for him. Immediately, there's nothing the Thresh can do about it, so immediately just punish and trade him in. It doesn't even matter that now he has slightly more HP, because we have more sustain anyway. We have fleet footwork. But the problem is, and this is actually a big mistake, is I fought the Thresh, I tried to poke the Thresh on I tried to poke the Thresh on opposition when there weren't a lot of creeps around anymore, so like I wanted to punish him for his relic stack on the cannon, but I didn't notice that the cannon was the only minion left, so he had like a super easy hook on me, and that means that we not only give up a lot of lane control, but we also like lose out on a lot of this farm because there's no cannon wave here. The thing that's working for us that he took a lot of he took some shots, so we lose a little bit less minions, but still like we probably lose most of this wave, if not everything. Yeah. So look at all these minions that are dying, and this is based off our mistake there to actually fight on a small minion wave. So like that's just ignoring rule 1 of our game plan. But we get bailed out. We have teammates that have hands, which is great. Which now like they cannot take an advantage out of me fucking that up before. He does tax me another wave, so that's that ends up with me actually losing 2 waves for that. But on the other hand, Warwick is really ahead now, so I don't mind that a lot. But that wouldn't I wouldn't have lost those 2 waves if I hadn't taken the hook like an idiot like there. It's not even about like dodging or not dodging the hook. It's about putting myself in a position where the hook can really fuck me over. And that was one of those moments where like I made it very easy for Thresh. So again, we pushed it out. We're gonna wait for the bounce. Bounce gonna come in, no problem, because the waves are gonna meet at their side. So there's gonna be a bounce, and then hopefully, now that we have a pickaxe and Kershays with sustain, we should be able to establish lane control as long as we don't get hooked. But since we're waiting for this wave for a long time anyway, like the best thing that we can do as players is just like let's go for a ward, let's go for a walk, like be useful, like take some action. Like I'm gonna wait for this wave anyway. I'm gonna have to wait for this wave anyway because Spike is gone, so might as well just make the most out of it. And now that it comes back, Warwick's here. There's pressure. I can freeze this wave now. I didn't go on the Thresh immediately because I was scared he would Hex Flash over and then I'd be in trouble. But yeah, like this position is bad for Jhin, right? Like now I can just freeze this again and it's gonna be a lot harder for Jhin to reach this. And you're gonna see that, like I'm gonna freeze that wave and it's gonna fucking suck for him. Because like look at this, like what are they gonna be able to do? What are they gonna be able to do about this wave now? Okay, the hook actually that was dangerous, but aside from that, as you can see, yeah, as you can see, like even like behind, like after all those trades, the wave is still here. Now it's pushing back because Spike is just gonna, yeah, Spike's gonna ruin the freeze a bit. It's gonna happen a lot, but it's fine. Even then, like as we have to maintain, just like be safe, be on the safe side as long as we can in these kill lanes. Because this is a good position for Pyke. They have a long lane, like he can chase them down. Well, if they hook me, I'm very close to my tower. I can escape a lot easier than Jhin can if he gets hooked. But what happens is actually the Jhin is gonna make another very weird mistake. Because for some reason he just doesn't see my traps at all. Like he just walks into it, and like this is, and there we go. And it's like really bad. And then what I decide to do is I'm just gonna do exactly the same thing as him. I'm gonna run it down. Look at me just running down straight to the jungler. I'm gonna be honest. I thought that was my jungler for some reason. I have no idea why I thought that. I could have just walked back, but I thought, oh yeah, that's Warwick's there. I'll be safe. It just ended up with me just yeah. We both get destroyed. Actually, the fallout of this dive and like the mistake of just walking back to the Lee Sin is that now, first off, they actually managed to kill Anivia here. They will have their bot lane coming up first, pushing out the wave, and then they get a free dragon. So all of that is just based on my misinterpretation, like my bad analysis of that dive and like bad decision making there. Because now, yeah, now we're in bad shape. So the first thing that's gonna happen is this wave is gonna be pushed in. With this wave, I really don't want to go for dragon. I want all of this CS. And what's gonna happen is I think Warwick is still gonna try to contest, which is something that happens a lot in this like low plot games. It's just people contest objectives that are really hard to get right now. So as you can see, I'm CSing here, but Warwick still tries to contest it. He gets clipped. The reasoning was that Lee Sin was very low, so there was a chance. We're trying to make the best out of it. I can commit on ult, but I will not commit anything more. But I seem to be pushing out here. I should probably not be pushing out here. I don't know why I'm pushing this wave. But the good thing is, this is the last 30 seconds. So from this perspective, actually the game looks quite okay. Aside from top lane, was actually winning hard. like we're actually losing on this side of the map. Okay, Pyke has 3 kills, so it's actually fine. It looks better. But they take first Drake. They have a very fat Zoe. This could be very dangerous. So this could go into like, this could go both ways right now, right? But what happens is just it's just another thing. It's like a very unnecessary pressure. Like they try to unnecessarily go for the kill here for no reason at all, and it ends up with just them being double killed. Which first of all was a stupid decision, and then like just the execution of that Jhin is just, man, I don't know, whatever. It's just so stupid. But it ends up with just now, like, if we look now at 10 minutes, the fucking game is over. Like, the Pyke has 3 kills, I have 3 kills, top lane is winning, we will play this out. This is an easy game to win. And I think a lot of people will think the same thing. Like, if you're Platinum, you probably know how to win from this position on. If you don't, then really, like, study up on your macro. But this should be played out quite easily, and it's like, it's gonna be a fucking slaughter for us. So remember, play from your game plan. As long as we can, definitely watch out for those like lower stacked waves in those kill lanes, because that's what actually made this lane so hard in the first place. Is the one moment that I forget that cost me 2 waves and like almost a kill on me. And then another thing is like, you know, using the sustain advantage that we tried to use. I think we used it very well. And like once we have lane control, we try to freeze them out. And like we tried the best out of it. Like the victory is actually mostly given to us by the enemy bot lane who just ran it down. But you know, like it might happen that they don't run it down, and then still I'd be in a decent position. But yeah, if you like this video, then please just like and subscribe, and see you another time. Thank you.